Ever wonder how much money you can make owning a turf business? Well, today my friend Lance is gonna tell us all about it. Let's go.
To be able to give people ideally the lifestyle that Waterloo's given me, which is just getting your Saturdays back, being your own boss, financial freedom, personal freedom, work-life balance, all those things is really the driving force of why I want to go out and do this, is to be able to give that opportunity to other people that desire it, have a passion for it, are willing to get out, be gritty, be driven to go build their own business, and then allow us to support them.
So tell me about this job we're doing.
Yeah, so this is a residential job, East Austin. It's about 770 square feet around a brand new pool, which is great. We love doing installs around pools. Keeps the pool clean, keeps the client's feet clean, keeps the inside of their house clean.
So how much did you sell this job for?
So this job, we sold it for roughly $7,500. And then our margin on it, I think our profit, our take home on it should be around $3,500.
Okay.
So close to 50% margin on it.
Awesome. Yeah, so walk me through the process. So the guys get here, what are they gonna do?
So the guys are gonna show up. We're gonna work on this grade a little bit. So you can see it's pretty uneven. So we wanna make sure that this is just a nice smooth grade working towards this back fence. So they're gonna clean up this grade a little bit. Once this grade is cleaned up and this edging is touched up as needed, they'll bring in our base. So we'll use crushed aggregate. And so they'll just bring it in with wheelbarrows, one wheelbarrow at a time, dump in piles throughout the project site. And then once the piles are all spread out, they'll bring in their rakes, they'll spread them, spread those piles out to where it's a nice grade that we want it to be at. Then they'll hit it with the plate compactor, so compact this entire thing. So obviously the compactor's out. You can tell this is a lot sturdier of a surface compared to what they had down previously. So this is essentially, besides seaming, the most important part of the install, because what this is gonna allow is for the turf and the foundation to maintain over time, but it's also still gonna drain really efficiently, which is what the client's looking for. So this is gonna allow it to just last for the longevity that it needs to last for, and ensuring the client a really satisfactory product.
Yep, so they use a machine kind of in this big area, and then by hand.
So we've got our plate compactor right here, which takes care of 95% of this compaction.
Yep.
And then we've got the hand tamper, which is used along the edges, tight spaces, corners, in between pavers if it fits. Otherwise, we'll use a 2x4 to really just get that thing compacted in to the grade that it needs to be at.
And what happens next after this?
So after we fully compact this, we'll roll out a weed cloth on top of it, just to do everything we can to help prevent weed growth. So we've already obviously scraped the top of it. We've added in 3 to 4 inches of this compacted aggregate, put a weed cloth on it, and then with the turf and the thick backing of the turf, it makes it really, really hard for weeds to come up through. So weed cloth, and then we'll move on to the turf portion. And then the infill's the very end with the power broom. So right here, we got the weed barrier going in. So this is the step right before the turf starts to get installed. So as you can see, they're cutting it in strips to fit within the project space, and then they're just securing it with nails along the way to make sure that it's gonna stay intact.
So teach me about the seam. You've said before, this is like the most important part. This is the part where if they mess this up, 1-star review.
Yeah, just kind of, it definitely ruins a lot of the install.
Okay.
So the client's gonna walk out this door right here, and the first thing they're gonna look for, can I see any seams?
Yep.
And so they're coming out with, an excitement level out of 7. They're a little nervous. They've been seeing the work happen, but now they want to see the finished product. So if they see a seam, we're dropping that 7 down to like a 3. It's just going to happen. But if they walk out, no seams are visible, immediately up to a 10, they're going to write you a 5-star review before you leave the job site. So a lot of companies out there, they like to do the straight seam, which is inevitably going to probably end up looking like a mohawk. We call it the mohawk seams. Yep, so the blades are gonna cross. You're gonna see a little mohawk going down. It's gonna be very evident where the seams are every 15 feet. So what we like to do is what is called the S seam. So it really helps blends the blades together. So the blades have a direction to them, a naturally right direction. So
yeah, I can see that. Okay, going this way.
Yeah, so it naturally kind of goes right even when it's rolled out towards the house straight. So what the S seam does is it just blends those blades. So we'll cut it in an S pattern, and when it folds back together, it'll just blend in as if there's no seam. So right now he's cutting out the S seam pattern. So he's actually just freehanding it. And like we had talked about earlier, what's gonna happen is he's gonna mirror this same cut on the opposite side. and then we'll fold it back. We'll put some seam tape in between the two, coat it with adhesive glue, and then we'll fold those two S-seams into place, and it's just gonna blur the lines to where you really shouldn't see a noticeable seam at all. Man, that's nice.
Is that good? That's good.
That's good stuff right there.
So where do you see Waterloo over the next couple years going?
Yeah, our goal is to be the largest turf brand in the United States. So we want to do it through franchising. Obviously, we want all of our franchising partners to be successful, to be profitable. And we just want to make sure that every franchisee is out there doing the highest quality installs possible.
So then after they get this down, we glue everything, tape it, glue it, nail it. And the power broom comes in, or the infill comes in? Yeah, the infill first. And then once we've spread out all the infill, we'll power broom it, push that infill deep into the turf, and then it's good for use.
Yeah, so when you started the business, what's like a day in the life?
Yeah, a day in the life when I started the business was a lot of just foot traffic. So a lot of just jumping in the car, getting a lot of miles in, just going to as many offices as I could go to. With the purpose of just trying to get the Waterloo Turf name out there, introduce who I am, and just trying to build as many commercial relationships as I could. Because during that initial time, it's just there's not gonna be a lot of work coming in. You're all about just trying to build up your brand name, get your company name out there. So the best way to do it, you just go door to door.
Of businesses?
With businesses.
Yeah, what kind of businesses?
So a lot of landscapers, a lot of landscape architects, general contractors, pool builders, home builders, daycares, doggy daycares. Being the lists, it's pretty extensive, but you've got time to do it in that initial stage. So I'd say, like, what I tell everybody that's interested in Waterloo is that first 3 to 4 months of launching is the most important and foundational months of your business, because what you do in those first 3 to 4 months and the time that you take advantage of is going to pay dividends, you know, even 4 years down the road for me. I'm still getting jobs from those initial coffee runs, donut drop-offs that I did back in 2021. So our hats, I'm very passionate about the hats. I think I'm probably too passionate about them, but they have done so much for Waterloo that I have to give them credit. I tell a lot of people that we've kind of become a hat company that is turf on the side at this point, because I'll get on the hat designing website and get a little carried away with it, but it's been big. People have wanted the hats. I go to commercial offices, they're asking for more hats. I get texts for more hats.
What's the favorite one right now?
Favorite one is it's probably this one. This is like the OG classic.
Yeah, the rate.
Yeah, little red ring with the black armadillo. Having people wear your hats out and about is just...
Yeah, you've seen people in public wearing them. And
yeah, I'll have friends text me pictures at the airport and be like, dude, I just saw somebody wearing your hat. Yeah. So it's just walking advertisement for you.
Yeah, that's wild.
So it's really fun. Who's ready to get to work?
Yeah, let's go.
So get it. All right. So we installed this yard, I believe it was about 2 years ago.
Okay.
So it still looks fairly good.
Yeah.
But you can see there's definitely been some foot traffic that's gone on. So a lot of this started to get matted down. This is where a lot of the wear and tear is going to happen. Just make like the exact same.
Yeah, going down this way.
Yep. So yeah. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try and get a lot of this to come back to life. So what we don't want to happen is years go by of no maintenance happening on a turf.
Yep.
The spines of these blades start to break and wither.
Okay.
And so then it hits a point where like you can't bring them back to life. So what we're going to do today is get these things back to life, get this turf standing tall, nice and clean for the client. And obviously this is a super awesome house, so it works really well here.
So how much did you sell this maintenance package for?
We sold this, so our initial clean is going to be about $500, and then every recurring clean after that is a flat rate. And so the more often you use us for your fresh and clean, that flat rate goes down. So we have a few different packages that clients can choose from to become members with.
So then your goal is to get customers on this like recurring revenue. You guys are coming out quarterly or every couple months.
Yep.
And make it look great.
Exactly. Yeah. So as often as they want us to, we'll come out every day if they want. But yeah, most often our most popular is going to be the quarterly plan. And then the commercial side's a little bit different. That'll be a little bit more often. Price plan for that's going to be a little bit different than the residential. But yeah, the goal is, turf is not it's been sold for forever as it being maintenance free, and it's not maintenance free, it's just low maintenance. So you want to make sure that your turf lasts. Ideally, it's 15 years that it should last while looking good that full 15 years as well. So this is the best way to make sure that your turf looks good for 15 years, performs well, and it's something that you're proud to have in your backyard.
Yeah, because it's an awesome business model too. If you can sell them the $7,000 job, and then we get them on a quarterly maintenance plan. So then it's the big ticket and then recurring revenue as you build it.
Exactly. Yeah, we think about it as turning clients into members. So we want them to be fresh and clean members, and for us to just pop in when they need us. And whether it's they're having a big party that's going to happen on Saturday, and they want us to swing by beforehand. Some depending on your package you go with, you have priority access scheduling. So there's a lot of fun things that we're excited about with it.
Awesome. Let's get to work.
All right, let's get to work.
Let's go. All right, Lance, so let's get into your numbers. How much in revenue did you do in 24 here in Austin?
We did about 1.1 here in Austin in 2024.
All right, and how much did you make on that?
We hit over 20%
to the bottom line?
For the bottom line at the end of the year. So.
And that's with a manager kind of running a lot of the day-to-day?
Yep, manager running it, whether it was me or Bobby who took the reins closer to the end of 2024.
Yep.
Bobby being our turf pro.
Okay, awesome. Then let's talk about San Antonio. When did you launch that one?
So San Antonio officially launched right at the end of 2023, but really the beginning of 2024.
I guess first month, January 24. And then how much did you do down in San Antonio?
In San Antonio for 2024, we did a little over 600,000.
And that's in his first year, right?
First year.
With a manager down there running all the day-to-day?
Yeah, manager running it full time, getting paid obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, a little over 600,000. And it was profitable too, which was a good sign. That was a good validating sign, and part of the reason that I was trying to decide, okay, now what do I want to do with Waterloo? Do I want to continue to build this out more corporately?
Yep.
Or do I want to take it the franchising route, which obviously we ended up taking it the franchising route.
So when you launched San Antonio, did your guy down there follow that same playbook, 3-4 months, hitting the streets every day?
Yep, 3 to 4 months hitting the streets every single day. I mean, the goal is to hit seven commercial offices a day. And so you just arrange them, organize them days before, and make sure that you're making the most efficient route for perfect drop-offs. So that was, he did the exact same play, and then just run lean.
There's just him, right? Because all the labor's just 1099 and
yeah, all the labor's subcontracted. Run lean, come in low. We still make a margin, but it's not as high as we want it to be because we're more focused on, if we're going to sacrifice on a little bit of profit, then we need to capitalize on getting a review, making sure the client's happy. Because the cool thing, and what could be it's a double-edged sword, but turf is very word of mouth within the industry.
Yep.
And so that goes both ways, whether you're doing really high quality work or doing really poor work, it's going to spread. So we just knew that the more jobs we could get on schedule, and the more we could give our crews work, the more trained up they could get, the more potential reviews that we could have, and then eventually the more word of mouth spreads. So that's kind of the algorithm we went with.
So why'd you decide to franchise this business versus you scaling it on your own or just staying here in Texas?
Yeah, it was kind of a serendipitous way that it all went down. So I had launched San Antonio, and San Antonio was running really smoothly and healthy, and I wasn't too involved with it. I have our turf pro, our general manager in San Antonio that runs it. And so it kind of just got to the point where I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next with Waterloo. So it was actually the same time that me and Tim's, we became friends. We met in church and developed just a friendly relationship that way. And then after a few months of getting to know each other, we started to talk about work and what each other did. So he was in the franchising space, and I was trying to figure out if I wanted to take Waterloo more of the corporate route and just expand city to city, similar to what I had done with San Antonio, or if I wanted to go the franchising route with it. So it all just happened at the perfect time, which made it just a really easy thing to be like, okay, let's talk more about the franchising route. And we just talked about the ability to replicate Waterloo across the country, and franchisee profitability being, you know, a main focus of it. And so we talked about that and the way that I really just wanted to, you know, continue to reproduce the Waterloo brand and the systems to be able to give people ideally the lifestyle that Waterloo's given me, which is just getting your Saturdays back, being your own boss, financial freedom, personal freedom, work-life balance, all those things is really the driving force of why I want to go out and do this, is to be able to give that opportunity to other people that desire it, have a passion for it, are willing to get out, be gritty, be driven to go build their own business, and then allow us to support them. So that's kind of the full story of how the Waterloo franchising came about. And yeah, obviously we're super excited about it. All right, so we are at Turf Hub here in North Austin. We've got Brad, who's the general manager of the Texas Turf Hub. They have an amazing facility, awesome showroom, and then we'll go into the back of the warehouse where we can see all the inventory. Love working with Turf Hub. Right. They make our lives easier, delivered directly to the job site, always stocked up in the warehouse, so we know that we can place orders with them, and our guys can swing through if needed to grab what they might need. So big fans of Turf Hub. See how the traction is? It's like grounding.
Yeah. It's grounding.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Okay.
I brought clients here. It's a good place to just come, and obviously we bring 1 square foot samples when we go with us to bids, but for them to be able to see a larger piece of it up next to all the other products, I mean, it just makes it really easy for them to visualize what they're gonna have done in their backyard space.
This turf, got the color. This is the more natural, right? It's got the little thatching, yeah.
When you're giving a bid or an estimate, you always want to make sure you fluff this thing up beforehand. So you want to kind of help replicate with the
infill,
what the product's going to look like after infill is put in.
We custom cut them to your order. So your order may have, you know, 1 roll, or may have 7 different rolls of different lengths and cuts that your installers will put into place. And so he rolled this out. He's measured it. He double checks his measurements. Well done.
That was nice.
So walk me through. So you're estimating with a customer. How are you deciding what products to recommend? Is there certain questions, lifestyle, pets, like budget?
Yeah, I think all that goes into play. So all these products are pet friendly, but depending on how many dogs they have.
So I have 2 dogs.
2 dogs?
30 pounds.
Yeah.
They're not huge.
Again, Bermuda Blend is a good product for that.
That's like your go-to.
Yeah, that's one of our go-tos. Drainability, durability, pet friendly, kid friendly. So foot traffic's one of the things we always want to think about whenever we're bidding out a job, is just how much foot traffic is going to go on in this project space, because that'll help us decide which product would be best for that client.
So it's more, what if it's a commercial job and it's like a lot of foot traffic?
So yeah, we're
like a hotel or like a resort.
Yeah, something with a shorter pile height.
Okay.
Is what we're gonna.
Which would like what would be?
Like an all play is a good example. So a good all around product for spaces. Obviously, we use this on a lot of playground spaces. Yeah, so it's shorter, right? For the blades. Exactly. Okay. So less susceptible to matting over time, and just being able to withstand more foot traffic.
And then when you use like one of the pet ones, is that more for like the doggy daycare ones?
Yeah. So like I said, all of the products we install are pet friendly, but this one right here is specific for pets. So like this Pet Flow product right here, a little bit of a different backing. It's going to drain a little bit more efficient than one of these standard ones, which is why it's
so it's got more drainage holes.
Yeah, it just drain. I mean, this is about 100 inches per hour. This is closer to 30 inches per hour. So this is just going to allow all that pet urine and waste to really just flow through it, and then hose it down, maintenance it, keep this smelling clean. But yeah, we wouldn't spec this in so much for a residential yard as we would directly
for doggy daycare,
hotels, things of that nature where pets are going to be involved.
Yep. And what about the putting green?
multiple putting green options.
There we go. Oh, a little too spicy.
I'd love to see it. This is a solid one right here. This Tour Platinum is a really good one we like to use. Rolls really well.
Rolls really well. It's nylon, so it's fast.
Yeah.
Nylon. The speed is really good on that one. So
Yep.
probably one of our best sellers there.
Yeah,
Sure.
shapes to different contours on with the base.
Yeah,
how
it
you
feels
prep
good.
Yeah, so we want it to look like a real putting green. We want it to perform like a real putting green, and a lot of that has to come just the way the ball rolls. You don't want anything to impede the roll of the ball. So this is a really solid product to make sure that the ball rolls true.
How often are you installing like putting greens in people's backyards?
Often. They're super popular. It's also like, it's not just for people that love to play golf. You know, a lot of our clients have kids that are 5, 6, 7 years old, and they're feeling like they're starting to get into golf.
Yeah.
So this is a great option for them. It's also another just piece for hosting. So
Entertainment, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, versus
having people over, getting their Saturdays back, rolling putts in the backyard while the grill's working, maybe have a drink in one hand. So it's not just for your everyday golfer. It's a lot of entertaining purposes, and hoping that maybe you're raising the next Jordan Spieth or Scotty Scheffler too. So
we're talking about the infill, because that's like right here, right?
that's what we use on all of our jobs. So Wonderfill, EnviroFill, silica sand. This is what's used on a synthetic grass install. So we don't use black crumb rubber that you see on football fields, anything like that. We stay away from it. So we like to use all this non-toxic, kid-friendly, pet-friendly type of infill.
Tell me about new franchisees that get on board. What's it going to be like for them kind of getting up to speed and becoming turf experts?
Yeah, so as far as the training process goes, we'll have them here in Austin for 4 days.
Okay.
Call it a training, but it's really gonna be more of a boot camp.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be 4 long days. A lot of it's gonna be going through the systems, the processes, the technology, and getting them comfortable, kind of more in a classroom setting.
Okay.
But then a lot of it's also gonna be on site.
Yeah, doing what we're doing today.
Doing what we're doing today. So getting our hands dirty, actually getting your hands on the equipment, on the tools, on the turf. Because what we want is for them to leave the job site fairly comfortable dealing with turf, so that when they go and install turf,
Yep.
they're gonna know how to do it, and they're gonna be able to explain to their installers and definitely to the clients.
Okay. So they do it here in Austin, they learn it, they get the compactor, they get all the tools down.
Yeah.
And then what does it look like when they go back home?
Yeah, so when they go back home and they officially launch, we're gonna do 4 days of on-site training in their territory. So turf coaches are gonna come out, installation coaches are gonna come out, and we're gonna not necessarily help them,
Yep.
but we're gonna just support them. So they're gonna run their own installs, they're gonna run their own crews, and we're gonna be there as a sounding board to make sure everything's going as it should. And then we want to be there ideally with some bids on schedule as well. So we'll go to bids with them, kind of just shadow them in that process, and then coach them up as much as we can during that 4 days of being in their territory, working with them.
That's like one of the biggest benefits of a franchise is they don't have to figure it all on their own. Like they've got you, they've got every other franchise in the country to share ideas and practice best practices and post pictures and be like, hey man, like, what do you think I should do here?
Exactly.
Right. And so I think that's like a huge element of why you pay royalties and why you're part of this. Cause then you're in your business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. Like you're not alone. Like you are starting it up.
Yeah.
You've got this whole network and knowledge. You shared expertise. So
yeah, I'm hoping that the failures and the dents that I took on my bottom line for the first couple of years of business, like all these other franchisees won't have to pay the price that I had to pay on that through trial.
I'd say it turns decades into days, right?
Yeah,
So you got, you've been in turf since 2016.
Yeah.
So almost eight years now.
Yeah. A little hiatus.
A little hiatus, and then you're compressing 8 years of knowledge into a matter of days and weeks for franchisees. And so that's like a big element of why you pay a franchise fee and why you get into the game. So
yeah, I mean, that's on the turf portion too. I think our team I'm one piece of the team, so our team is extremely strong. I mean, we've got some really key players built into our team that's going to be super vital to making sure everyone launches well, is successful. So a lot of franchise knowledge coming from other industries into the franchise space for turf.
Yep.
It all plays a part.
Well, Lance, after today, I'm convinced I want to be a franchisee. What's it going to be?
I think you got to be a franchisee.
Like
a swag box for you here. So
I think I have what it takes.
And you definitely have what it takes, but now you don't have a choice.
Okay.
Because we got this for you. So welcome to the franchise.
Awesome.
We're excited to have you.
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, check out this one I did featuring Dumpster Dudes.